flippy-floppy behemoths are back. That's right, it's time to show off some Subterrors again. I'm the Range Snail, guys. Let's get right into this deck. It's fun. I like it. I don't know, I'd say I'm a lot, so who knows where I'm going with this. But, 2 Nemesis Warrior. You can search with Rhoda, so I just cut it down to 2. I feel like 3 is unnecessary. Being able to Foolish Burial during other player's turn to Subterror, and then tributing it and another monster, and then bringing out the Subterror and face up or face down position is kind of cool. And then if you flip up a Subterror, you can come back from the grave. So 2 is, I feel like, all that's necessary for it. 2 Archer as well. You can crash into this, get a search, or it can just be destroyed in any really way, shape, or form. And I'm sorry, you don't get a search. You can just special summon a Subterror. I'm trying to abuse its other effect, that where if it attacks an opponent's monster and you have another face down Subterror, you can spin it. So that's kind of cool. And you'll see that come in later on in this profile. 3 Fiendus. Fiendus is probably the best Subterror in my opinion. It's a hand trap. She can put herself face down, and that really unclogs giant Subterror behemoths in your hand. So Fiendus is just so good, and you can recycle her and get her out with 1 for 1. So yay. That's pretty much all the little Subterrors. As for the Behemoth, 2 Kraken. Kraken's really cool because I really like his mechanic of that when you flip him up, you can blow up set cards based on the number of Subterror monsters you control. So he counts for himself, which is cool. And like I said, I like to abuse that face down mechanic just so you get more advantage off. And that's why I also have the Turtle at 2. It's a nice 3000 beat stick, and when it's faced up, every other monster on the field goes to face down. So, cool. 2 Umastrix, you can banish with it, so, yay. And then 3 Stalagmo for draw power. I really probably like him the most of all the Subterrors. Definitely like him at 3 for just the draws. Umastrix is okay for banishing at 3, although you can only activate their effects once per turn. 1 Phosphor Glacier, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's pretty much a foolish for anything, really. You can just send a card from deck to grave. It's okay here and there, but decent stats at 26 and 25, just 1. And then 1 Spyrals, guys. This is my personally favorite Subterror. When you flip him up, you can pretty much turn an opponent's monster to attack position, make its attack 0, so you can just swing for 3000, and, that's just some great damage on the board. That does it for the Subterrors. Last monster I play is just 1 Max C, because this deck kind of needs draw power, and if you don't really get any good opening hands, you're pretty much screwed. 1 Cave Clash. I really only think 1 is needed. Subterrors you control will stack 500 both ways for set monsters on the field, which include your opponents. So, good reason to play it, I guess. And then, once per turn, when a Subterror inflicts battle damage, you can get back any Subterror from your grave to your hand. So that's kind of cool. Just 1, really. Subterror deck is not complete without Hidden City. I actually don't like this field spell for the deck, to be honest. I wish you didn't have to play it, but you kind of do. When you activate it, you can search a Subterror, and then you can do some flippy-floppy stuff with it. So, that's cool. But yeah, I don't really like the field spell in the deck. I just really like the fact that you can search with it in any Subterror. And 3 Terraforming, of course, to grab the Hidden City. Some one-offs, 1 Rhoda to search a warrior. 1 for 1 for that Fiendus. 1 Soul Charge because it's Soul Charge. Double Cyclone for removal. 1 Raigeki for more removal. And then for my dumb tech card of the deck, I have 1 Swords. This just puts every monster your opponent has face down, and then you can just have some fun with your Subterror monsters and that whole mechanic. So I like Swords in the deck. Doesn't target, which is nice as well. 1 Warning because it's warning. 3 Behemoth Burrowing. This is arguably the best support, I would say, for Subterrors that they have. Just because it has so many effects. You can banish the Subterror and it protects all your face-down monsters. If it's destroyed by card effect, you can add a Subterror monster so you get another search there. And then you can banish from your graveyard and put a Subterror back down to face down as first defense position. So that's kind of cool. 1 Final Battle. This card also has multiple effects. You can change a Subterror to face up attack or defense. You can change a face up Subterror to face down defense. So you can just pretty much do flip-flops. And then you can double attack and defensive Subterrors, or you can prevent your opponent from negating Subterror cards. I only play one just because after you play it, you can just set it back down, so it's alright. You don't need to really play more than one. To round off the card lineup, just one Magical Hats, because you can bring out Archer, and it also gets your Burrowing Engrave, so you can have some fun with that. As for the extra deck, of course, I would play two of this, but just have one. Fiendus is pretty cool. I really think it's a lot better than what people give credit to it. It's not as good as the Spiral Link monster, obviously, and that's where I think some of its negative hate comes from. But requires two flips. When you make it, it'll gain attack based on the level of Subterrors you use for it. So if you use the big guys, then, you know, this guy starts to get really big. And then when you send a flip monster from deck to grave, you can special summon a monster and face down defense that this card points to. So yay. And then its main effect that I really like is once per turn, if a monster this card points to is flip face up, you can add one flip monster from your deck or grave to your hand. So just kind of unlimited searching for flips, which is cool. One Mrs. Radiant just to boost your Earth monsters, because pretty much everything in this deck is Earth. Another Link monster because it's a Link. Another Link monster because it's a Link. Other than that, you can pretty much play whatever else you want in the extra deck. There's just a bunch of Xyzes, you can choose from. That's banned. I don't know why that got thrown in there, but you can pretty much play any Xyz you want that's playable. And of course, one Scarlight. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. I'm the Raging Snail. Have a good day, guys. See you later.